KPBS On Demand is supported by the San Diego County Toyota dealers, offering a new 2025 lineup of vehicles at your local Toyota dealer, including a new Tacoma with turbocharged 4-cylinder engines and a hybrid powertrain option. The San Diego County Toyota dealers. We make it easy.
Good morning, I'm Debbie Cruz. It's Monday, November 28th. The push for prefab housing and modular apartment complexes. More on that next. But first, let's do the headlines. "75% of consumers are expected to finish their holiday spending by the end of today, Cyber Monday. That's according to SDSU economist Mira Kopik. He also says holiday spending is expected to increase, but not by as much as it did last year.
Because of inflation and concerns in the economy, consumers are going to be a little bit wary. So spending is expected to increase at between 6 and 8% versus almost 14% last year.
The increase is likely because consumers are expected to put more on credit this year and use more buy now, pay later services. Team USA will play Iran tomorrow in the World Cup after tying England on Friday. 17-year-old Sebastian Lopez watched the Friday game at the Radies Shell.
And now just seeing it completely full is crazy to me because the support for soccer hasn't been that great here in the U.S. And now we're seeing all the support coming out, and it's just great.
Tomorrow's game starts at 11 a.m. It will be Team USA's final match in the group stage of the Cup. If they win, they will advance to the next round. If they tie or lose, they'll be eliminated. It's supposed to get a good deal cooler early this week. Today's high temps are expected to be 5 to 10 degrees below normal for this time of year. So if you haven't left the house yet, wear layers when you do. There's also a slight chance of light showers late in the day today. From KPBS, you're listening to San Diego News Now. Stay with me for more of the local news you need.
KPBS On Demand is supported by Marrocale Design and Remodeling, helping homeowners with their home remodeling needs, from ADUs to kitchen remodels, room additions, and custom homes. Marrocale Design and Remodeling can help homeowners design and build their dream homes. More at trustyourhometous.com.
Even though rents in San Diego County have dropped for 2 straight months, average prices are still too high for many to afford, and housing is in short supply. KPBS reporter Jacob Ayer has a look at what some say could be part of the solution.
A prefabricated house may look like most other modern homes, but the process to get there is rather different.
Prefabricated simply means that it's built in a factory off-site.
That's Todd Kessler. He's the president of US Modular, a company that specializes in manufactured and modular housing. For some people, there's a stigma about prefab housing. Kessler says getting past that is one of the biggest challenges.
We used to say that they were like your grandmother's trailers back in the day, in that they focused so much on being affordable that the quality really wasn't there. In today's pre-manufactured housing, the quality is there, and they're still less expensive than site-built structures.
How much less expensive? Roughly 10 to 30% cheaper than traditional on-site construction. And Kessler says it can be done faster. David Lynch is adding a manufactured home next to his own house in El Cajon.
And everything's ready to go. So you just get the efficiency of time, and then the cost is substantially less than having to do a custom build, which we've gone through before, so we know how painful and how expensive it can be.
There are several types of prefab housing, from one-story manufactured homes to whole apartment blocks. Drew Orenstein is the CEO of Impact Housing, which develops modular housing complexes. Orenstein sees them as a way to build high-quality multifamily homes in a quicker and more cost-effective way that he says will improve the lives of low and moderate income households.
We take the cost savings, we take the time savings, and we translate that into what we hope to be a reduction in their rental price point. But it's everything starting from about $1,500 and then up.
Orenstein says his company is bringing more of these complexes to the region, including a potential 900-unit development in Barrio Logan. But there are concerns in the community that there won't be units for very low-income families, according to Barrio Logan's Julie Corrales.
So unless you're building affordable housing and incorporating affordable housing units into every development in our community, you're displacing folks.
The state and region's policy shift to a build now approach has begun to open the doors for more prefabricated housing in the county. In fact, a modular housing manufacturing facility is coming to the Imperial Valley next spring and is expected to serve San Diego County. Pete Gombert co-founded the company called IndieDwell.
We can build it with labor that have a great job living where they are, and then ship the units to a high-cost market.
He says a perk of modular housing construction is that it can come in all shapes and sizes, so it also works for smaller units to shelter those experiencing homelessness.
Those units are about 380 square feet. They're studios. So we've actually got a 260 square foot micro studio that we do.
But some projects could be up to 7 stories due to their use of steel frames instead of wood, with bigger units.
We've got some larger projects where we're doing 2 or 3 bedrooms that are 960 to 1,100 square feet.
Regardless of the size, financing prefabricated developments can be an issue, partly because it's a newer industry in the U.S. and there aren't many developers. Sean Harris is with San Diego Commercial and Business Financing.
It'll be easier the longer we go, the more builders of this type there are out there. I would say with this type of an asset, you're going to get this type of a project, you're going to get a lot of help from the city, so that deflects some of the risk for an investor.
Back in El Cajon, the speed and savings of getting a prefabricated home are allowing Lynch to list the unit under market value, with a young family in mind.
A 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom place to rent's already expensive. It's ridiculous. So the families need a bit more space. So this is a 3-bedroom. They have capacity to grow, like with a couple kids.
Amid a housing crisis that's taken the hardest toll on low and middle income earners, backers of prefabricated housing say it offers a glimmer of hope to provide a quality home for rent or purchase at a lower cost that can be move-in ready in a fraction of the time. Jacob Ayer, KPBS News.
Wednesday is the deadline for short-term rental hosts in San Diego to apply for a license. It's part of a new city program intended to regulate the industry. Licenses will be made available through a lottery with priority given to hosts who haven't had code violations in the past 2 years. But some operators are worried about the new rules. Paul Becker is president of Blue Water Vacation Homes, a San Diego company that manages vacation rentals.
And there's definitely not enough hotels to accommodate the demand, and there's not going to be enough short-term rentals for people that want to stay together in homes. And so they're going to be impacted and move and go somewhere else, and it's really going to hurt our local economy.
The lottery is for hosts who rent out entire homes more than 20 days out of the year. They'll find out if they were chosen to get a license by December 16th. San Diego's Sanford Stem Cell Institute has rocketed stem cells into space a 3rd time, hoping to learn more about how human cells age. Here's KPBS Science Tech reporter Thomas Fudge.
A year-long residence aboard the International Space Station caused astronaut Scott Kelly to have aging in his blood cells that's normally seen only after 10 years. Now, San Diego researchers are launching their 3rd zero-gravity experiment to see how stem cells respond to stress. Katrina Jameson is the director of UC San Diego's Sanford Institute. She says earlier tests showed that zero-gravity caused stem cells to work a lot harder.
What we saw was that the normal stem cells in space woke up and then they divided quickly, and then they got exhausted.
Jameson says the result of their experiment could help protect people who enter space. It may also lead to therapies for people who are earthbound.
Because we see these aging effects so quickly, it starts to make us think, wait a minute, maybe some of the aging we see on Earth is partly predictable and preventable. Maybe we can turn back the clock on aging itself.
Another point of the study could be to find therapies for cancer. The stem cells will be in zero gravity on the International Space Station for about a month. Thomas Fudge, KPBS News.
Coming up, we tell you about a program to get low-cost computers to students. We'll have that story and more next, just after the break.
KPBS On Demand is supported by Paint Care, offering households and businesses in California more than 800 leftover paint drop-off sites for recycling. Quantities of 100-plus gallons of paint may qualify for a large volume pickup. Learn more at paintcare.org.
The holiday season is now underway, and families in South County have a chance to buy low-cost refurbished computers for their children. KPBS education reporter Angie Perez has the story.
The Core Series laptops, desktops, and tablets are different brands collected from corporate and individual donors by the Computers to Kids nonprofit, partnered with the San Diego County Office of Education. The devices have been scrubbed and refurbished. They include webcams and headsets on some models for as little as $100. Sherry Pierre is with Computers to Kids, hoping to help students and their parents.
We want to make sure that the system that these kids are getting, or these adults are getting, are as nice as what their neighbors are, because we want them to feel as equally empowered.
The computers are being sold at Chula Vista High School this Saturday, December 3rd. Pre-registration for the event is at capacity, but walk-ups will be accommodated as supplies last. MG Perez, KPBS News.
In the 1970s, Baltimore filmmaker John Waters regularly shocked audiences with films such as Pink Flamingos and Female Trouble. But now he's a member of the Academy and a beloved cult figure. KPBS arts reporter Beth Alcamando says Waters will be returning to San Diego for a new John Waters Christmas show.
In Pink Flamingos, John Waters had his star Divine eat dog poop. Now, Waters will be getting a star on Hollywood Boulevard and an exhibit dedicated to him at the Academy Museum.
I'm so respectable I could puke. But it's exciting. I'm doing the exact same thing. I haven't changed. I've been lucky enough that American humor has evolved way towards my direction.
He credits his success to never being mean-spirited and always being willing to make fun of himself. That approach has allowed him to be embraced by the mainstream while remaining outside of it. That's why he loves talking about Christmas.
No matter what nationality you are, what religion, what anything, it's coming at you like a steamroller from hell. And I actually like it. For me, though, it's just now how I make my living. I'm like a drag queen at Halloween. You know, if it's Christmas, I'm working.
He just finished writing a new version of his A John Waters Christmas, which he's bringing to the Belly Up Tavern in Solana Beach on December 4th. And since we're still reeling from the pandemic, he asks, is Christmas broken? Find out as the guru of bad taste returns to San Diego for a one-man show. Beth Accomando, KPBS News.
That's it for the podcast today. As always, you can find more San Diego news online at kpbs.org. I'm Debbie Cruz. Thanks for listening and have a great day.
KPBS On Demand is supported by Fleet Science Center's newest exhibit, Survival of the Slowest. See firsthand how nature's smallest, slowest, and weakest creatures can not only survive, but thrive in the wild. Open May 24th through September 1st. Learn more at fleetscience.org.